In this lecture, you are going to understand a key concept of Excel: relative versus absolute cell references. It's important to know what they mean and which one to use in different situations. Now let's get into it. In Excel, you can refer to a cell by its column letter and row number. For example, I can refer to cell A1 like this. This simple formula multiplies the value of cell A1 by 2. This A1 in the formula is a relative cell reference. Why is this called relative? Because if I copy this cell downwards, Excel will change the reference automatically. So in cell B2, it refers to cell A2, and so on. When do you use this relative reference? You often want to autofill a column with a formula. If you use a relative reference, you won't need to edit the formula in other cells. Now what if I want to multiply column A values with 3? I can create a new formula just like in column B. But there is a smarter solution. Let me create headers for these columns that contain the multiplier. So I insert a row at the top and type in 2 and 3. Let me delete these values. The new formula will look like this. Now what happens if I copy down this formula? Excel automatically changes the second part of this formula too, because it's also a relative cell reference. But we would need to lock it to B1. This is where the absolute cell reference is coming into the picture. With the dollar sign, I can lock part of the reference. In this case, I'd like to lock the row, so I put the dollar sign here before the row number in reference B1. I autofill again with double click on this corner node, and now the reference to cell B1 will remain in each cell, and the calculated values will be correct. Now let's copy this formula to the right. The second part of the formula has changed to cell C1, which is good. This is because column B was not locked, so it was updated to column C during the copy. To make this formula copy work, we need to lock column A here, so I enter a dollar sign right before the column name. Let me autofill this column B with double click. Results won't change here, which is good. So we have a locked column here and a locked row here. Now I can copy the formula to the right and it will be correct for column C. I autofill this column and the results are correct. Let me create further multipliers here. And let me delete these cells. Now the beauty of this relative and absolute references in this formula is that now I can fill in the entire table in a few simple steps and we will have a complete multiplication table. Notice that we have one simple, well-constructed formula here. Now I select this range. I hit F2 to enter to edit mode in cell B2, and I hit Ctrl Enter to fill all selected cells with the active cell B2 content, which contains our formula. I hit Ctrl Z to undo. You could also copy the formula this way by dragging it to the right and drag this row downwards. Same result. Now let's see a typical example for an absolute reference where we lock both the column and the row in a cell reference. Let's say we have values in USD currency in column A. We have a USD Euro conversion rate in cell B1. And we'd like to create a formula that calculates Euro values here. This is how it looks with relative cell references. What we need to do is to lock both the column and the row in this B1 cell reference. Now I click here, so the cursor is blinking next to this B1 cell reference, and I hit F4 to change the reference type to absolute. By the way, F4 is a toggle. If I hit it once more, only the row will be locked. Next time, only the column will be locked. And next time, we get the original cell reference. But in this case, we need both as absolute, so I hit F4 again. Let me format this cell as Euro. I double-click on the corner node to autofill this column. As you can see, the formulas will be correct in other cells too. They refer to cell B1, the conversion rate. Now if we want to copy and paste this Euro data into another column, we need to take an extra step to lock column A in the first part of the formula. I double-click for autofill. And now, if I copy this range into another column, the formula will be updated accordingly. It will refer to column A and cell B1 because I locked the right parts of the cell references. Also, if you use these relative and absolute cell references properly, you won't have data integrity issues even if you insert new columns or rows into your data range. The references will update properly. In order to use the right type of cell reference, you need to think ahead a little. But I'm sure that you will get used to it quickly and you will know which one to use in which situation. I hope this lecture was useful. See you in the next video.